Kalyn Ponga's future with the Knights has been questioned after reports the NRL was looking into a potential salary cap breach involving the superstar fullback. Boys, what the hell is going on here?
It's clear as mud, this one, Brad.
This is clear as mud, and a strange set of events over the past couple of days. Can one of you guys talk us through? Well, I'll come to you because you're good mates with Kalyn and his dad. You've had a long-standing relationship.
Yeah.
You cheated on Melbourne with Newcastle. With Newcastle.
It gets around, Rip.
You sleaze
Look,
bag.
I think this started basically, Brad. It started as an issue over ratchet clauses in the contract, and I think the Ponga camp were looking for some clarity around the ratchet clauses in Kalyn's contract. I think they were concerned he wasn't being paid what he should have been paid, and that got explained to.
Who was concerned?
I think Andre, because he doesn't have an age.
You think or you know?
Surely
I
that's
believe
just,
Andre spoke to the NRL. So
surely that's just simple mathematics, though, right?
Yeah, but I think
if you are a percentage of the pie, i.e. the salary cap at, say, let's for argument's sake say 10%, and that cap is 10 million, and that grows to say 12 million, it's still 10%. 10%.
It was
not that difficult to figure out what 10%
it was a bit different
of that is.
Over the term of this deal, James, because the cap went up by a certain amount, but then the minimum wage went up and it affected the percentages. And anyway, he just
Why
wanted...
was it different for Kalyn and any other player in the NRL?
Well, I think he just wanted some clarity. Not every player's got a ratchet clause, Braith, as well, and he's gotten significant money.
I would say...
A lot do.
50% would have had ratchet clauses, so a lot do.
Yeah, well, his father wanted some clarity around that. But then
so he went to the NRL?
He went
into the NRL?
I believe he met with these.
I'm just trying to paint a picture.
And in the process of this, obviously, there's become an issue over a third party that allegedly wasn't paid. It's my understanding that it's now been paid. And I think the NRL, it's been said the NRL's investigating the third party payment. That's not right. That's not an NRL issue because it was a long-standing deal that the NRL approved 4 years ago, and the NRL's basically said, that's not our issue. That's an arm's-length deal. We've already given it the green light.
Which is also very common in the game.
You need to solve that with the person you've got the deal with.
It's not the NRL's jurisdiction, is it?
It's not the NRL's jurisdiction, unless there's something untoward going on.
Why did he go to the NRL with that then?
Well, I just think in the process of those talks it got raised, Braith.
Okay. It seems that
obviously there was concerns.
See, not many... What I'm trying to say is that not many agents, let alone dads, if he's an acting agent as his father, go to the NRL to seek clarification on something so simple as a ratchet clause, which you are trying to say is complicated. It is not. Every agent in the game knows it, and half of the NRL...
He's not an agent,
well, if you want to act as an agent, you should know that.
Perhaps.
And half of the NRL actually are on that ratchet clause. Yeah. Then to throw in that there's a third party unpaid is very unusual, and it's not the NRL's problem. So I think the question I'm trying to get to here is, was it deliberate to go in there and ruffle some feathers, or was he actually concerned about the payment?
Well, he probably wanted to get paid, and it's worked because apparently he has been paid. So,
but how did Newcastle feel about that?
Well, I think Newcastle, it's a funny club, Braith, because there's people at that club who work behind the scenes, who don't have an official role with that football club, who are involved with the footy club in a way. They're not officially with the club, but they are involved with the club. And in some instances, such as this one, they pay third parties. So I think within the club, there's certain figures who find this all a bit hard to deal with.
There's lots
and
of
they're
clubs.
unhappy about it.
There's lots of clubs that would operate.
Not like this, Jimmy. I don't know that I've ever come across a situation like this where there's a person at that club who basically acts as the right hand of Phil Gardner, who's the CEO, and has no official role within the football club, yet is also paying third parties to players, as in this case.
I just look at this and think, is there a bit of conspiracy theories around this? Like, is it deliberate to try and, is he happy there, Kalyn? Is his dad happy there? Is he trying and get out of this contract? Is he not? Because it is unusual and it has to be said.
Well, but before all the viewers fall asleep trying to understand ratchet clauses and Pythagoras' theorem and sine, cos and tan and understanding spreadsheets...
He's saying Reedy's putting people...
I couldn't explain that, Dave.
Now, that is the only thing that matters to Newcastle Knights fans. What is the implications of this story? And that is Kalyn Ponga going to be at the Knights or not? And to your point, Braith, conspiracy, that's certainly... It's certainly been asked internally at the Knights, who, as you said, they're at arm's length from this whole drama. They're wondering, hang on a sec, is something more at play here? I've made inquiries today with rival clubs to sit, and those inquiries led to, no, look...
Which clubs?
Roosters. Because
You said clubs.
no, there's one. There's
okay,
one.
sorry.
Right? Because, and I spoke to the Roosters about their forward planning. Okay, and I also spoke about the head of recruitment at the Roosters. It was formerly at the Knights and formerly at the Cowboys. Has a close relationship to Kalen. And so I made some inquiries to the Roosters, of which they said, Dave, not even on our radar. Didn't even know about it. As far as forward planning post James Tedesco. So it's not on the Roosters' radar. You talk to the Knights, and certainly they thought, hang on a sec, is there some funny business here about Kalen being unhappy? That's been put to bed. Okay. He's not unhappy at all. Happy to be there.
Well, if he does aggravate for a release, then the Knights have to take the same stance as the Dragons with Ben Hunt. They have to. If he's contracted till 2027, there's no way they can allow him to just walk out the door.
You know, I don't think
it's going to be an issue, Joe.
I don't think he's agitating for a release. I think he's happy there. I think every sign I've seen is that he's happy there. He just his dad just wanted him to get the money he was owed. And it turns out he's got it.
It does seem odd, though, the fact that he would, knock on the NRL's door or phone the NRL and ask for clarification, because they don't hold the keys to the answer.
Yeah. Well, he probably wasn't aware of that.
So you believe we won't hear a word about this again? That's it. It's done.
I wouldn't go that far, Braith.
Oh.
Well, you know how this stuff works. I mean, someone starts rattling the cage, you never know what happens.
You said it was all good, now you're saying you know how this stuff works.
Well, I'm just saying I can't sit here and tell you we won't hear any more about this. I'm not saying insofar as Kalen's concerned potentially leaving the club. I'm talking about...
So Newcastle fans should be at home very comfortable on the couch right now, safe. Their number one player, the king of Newcastle, staying.
Well, I think he is right now. Well, I don't think... I don't think there's any plans for Kalen to leave the football club.
Okay.
But when you start rattling the tin like this or rattling the cage, who knows what falls out.
Clear as mud at the start of this? I did. Because it's still clear as mud.
Yeah,
all right.